Hello, my yarny friends. Welcome to Grandma Katie Crochets and Knits. This week, what have I done this week? Well, I crocheted a plaid hat. Can you believe it? I did something in plaid. Never thought I would, but the truth is, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it might be, and it was actually kind of fun. And it's single crochets, three stitches of one color, three stitches of the next, and you just carry it all the way through row to row. And there you use three colors. And this is a pattern by Yarnspirations. Surprise, surprise. I use a lot of their patterns. I am not affiliated with them. They do not compensate me. I just like a lot of their patterns. And this particular pattern, my son wanted a hat, and he picked this particular one. It is called the Buffalo Plaid Crochet Hat for him. I will leave the link in the description for you if you want to go look it up. It's a level easy, and it was very easy. It only took me a day or so to crochet it. Now, the three colors that they suggest on the list for this particular hat, those three colors, I looked them up, they are discontinued. So what I did was, when I found those colors, I got the closest colors to what they were. So for contrast A, it says it's the color called luggage. I just got a burgundy color. And this is mainstays, burgundy. For the contrast B, it says red hot. I just got a red color. And then for the summer night, I just got black. I just did black. So there it is, burgundy, red, and black. Simple as that. And then for the pom-pom, I just used all three colors and used my Clover pom-pom maker and did that. So there was that. Very, very easy, very, very quick. Single crochet, no big deal. Now the the ribbing is half double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, alternate, and that's how you get the ribbing. Not a big deal. So, and if you know how to do that, and if you don't know how to do it, it's very easy. I do believe there are YouTube tutorials on it. So, and if you don't, let me know in the comments. I will make a tutorial on it. So, that's what I did with that. I'm very proud of that. My son was very happy to know that I made his hat for him. He was actually a bit surprised about it. Okay, as for whips, okay, if you all saw my previous videos, I was making what was called a cherry wine knit blanket. And I had attempted that pattern literally 3 times. I frogged that pattern and restarted it. I am not kidding you. And I kept getting off with the count. The first time, I lost stitches. The second time, it went like this, and I found out that I had added 14 stitches. So I started it again, and it did something really weird again. And I ended up, I think I dropped some stitches. I don't know how I was doing this. I don't know if it was the pattern, if it was just me not concentrating and not counting, or what it was. So I dropped the whole thing. I dropped the entire pattern. And I started a pattern of my own. So what I'm doing is I did 10 rows of stockinette, just a regular knit. And then I'm doing 10 rows of basket weave. So I'm just doing a basket weave pattern. It's easy, it's simple. I've got it down. The first 5 stitches are just the stockinette, and then 90 stitches of basket weave, and then the last 5 stitches of stockinette. Easy peasy. Get it, just knit, get it done, and be done with it. And I haven't gotten very far with this because I have had quilting to do. I have been working on quilts instead of knitting and crocheting, pretty much, except for the hat. Other than that, I really haven't done a lot of knitting or crocheting. And now I just repeated myself. I apologize for that. So this is going to be kind of a short video. I'm still working on the Afghan for my grandson and his wife. Um, I got that um, in line to do, and I have two more Boggy Creek blankets to finish. One is a shell stitch, and the other is a ripple Afghan. Oh, no, actually, I have three because up there on that shelf right there, that is a Trail of Tears, or Navajo Tears, as some people call it. So actually, I have three Boggy Creek blankets to finish. So there is that. Other than that, not much else. Oh, I am still working on my shawl that I had started. I'm working on my second round of the pattern. You know, after I did the initial, I'm working on round two of the pattern. And what else am I working on? Have I shown you my 10 stitch blanket that I am working on? Let me show you that. Oh my goodness. This is probably the easiest knitting crocheting pattern I have. There's only 10 stitches all the way around. I don't know if y'all have ever knit or crocheted one of these. And for some reason, I dropped one of my stitches. Let me get that back on there. But, so what you do is you start in the middle. I don't remember which one I started with, but you start in the middle and you put 10 stitches. I'm going to cover up my face here because I want you to see this. So you start with 10 stitches and you go as many rows as you want, and then you make a corner, and then you make another corner, and then you go back up. And then when you get to the top of that, then you make another corner. And you can do it all one color. You can use your scraps and do a scrappy blanket. You can do it however you want. And I thought, since I had this really pretty, this is actually a Fair Isle yarn by Red Heart, and it's called Winter. And it looks kind of Christmassy. So I thought I would put red in the middle and make it kind of a sort of a Christmassy kind of a blanket. And I've been working on this for a while. I don't work on it real often. It's one of those long-term projects that I'm working on, that I just pick it up whenever I feel like it, whenever the mood strikes me, I guess you might say. But I am still working on it, and I enjoy it once in a while. I am going up this side, and then when I get to here, then I will do the corner, and then I will go across this side, and then when I get to that corner, then I'll come back down here, and you just keep going around. You just keep going around the blanket until you get it as big as you want it. So, and I have 8 skeins of this color. So the blanket will be as big as however far all of this yarn goes. And then I thought I would either knit white around the outside or crochet white around the outside. Either one. I haven't decided what I'm going to do, but I do know that I want white as a border for the outside of it. So that's what I will do with that. Other than that, and then the other whip I still have on my needles that I had to restart because, and I was really aggravated with myself when I had to restart it, because what happened was I had nearly 2 full skeins of yarn completed with this blanket. This is a corner to corner. It's called the Carry Knit Stitch Blanket. I picked the pattern up in Michael's. It was one of those ones that you find in Michael's. It's, you know, the patterns that are hanging on the shelf at Michael's and you just tear them off and you get them for free. Yeah, it was one of those. So I got it. And you can use any yarn you want. It called for the Lion brand ice cream yarn. And I thought, you know, you can use any yarn you want. So I got some Big Twist blue sparkle yarn. So there it is, all that sparkly prettiness. And I got 3 skeins of it. I had nearly two skeins of it completed. And lo and behold, I had found 4 places where I had dropped stitches. And I'm talking way down here at the beginning. And I had to take the whole thing apart and start it again. So that's what I did with that. So this has been restarted. So I will be working on this in the near future and seeing if I can get this done, because this goes really quick. It's just a knit stitch. It's just flat out knit. And where you get the border, how you get this nice little border here. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. See the border. Let me get that yarn out of the way. Okay. Let me see if I can get it. There it is. See the border. So what you do is you knit 3, knit 1, 2, 3, and then you just yarn over and then keep knitting. And that yarn over is what not only makes the border, but adds 1 stitch every row. So that's how your Afghan grows, row by row, until you get to 199 stitches, or however large you want it. You can make it bigger than 199, because 190 and plus that. Okay, so the original pattern calls for a size 8 needle. I am using size 11s, I believe. Yes, I am using size 11 acrylics that I purchased from Hobby Lobby, and I absolutely love these. They are, and I always put this, I've made several of these, and when I do this, I always put it on the circulars, because circulars, of course, hold, more stitches. I don't have to worry if it's going to fall off my needles or what have you. So, anyway, and the reason I chose the size 11s is because I thought it would make a softer, drapier blanket, which I thought would be nice. So that's one of the reasons I did that. And then, and not only that, but I got 3 skeins of yarn, so I can go above the 199 stitches across. So once I get the 2 skeins done, then I will start going backwards and start finishing it out and get it done. So there you have that. And okay, so if you go by the pattern that's written, the Afghan usually comes out about 36 by 36, but the way I am making it, it's going to come out much larger, which I like to make bigger Afghans for babies, because I like them to have them like when they're toddlers and a little bit older. I think it's nice when if you're going to make a baby blanket, make it for the child to grow into as they get a little bit older, so it's not just a baby blanket, you know what I mean? I just, anyway, I'm gonna quit rambling about that. Let me see what else. I can't think of anything else. So anyway, I am looking forward to working on some of these knitting and crochet projects again, and getting some of these off of my list and out of my house, so they can go to the people who they were intended for. And because I always like it when I make a project and I want it to go to someone specific, I always enjoy it when it goes to that person specifically. So yeah, there's that. And I think that's about all I have for now. I'm just working on old projects. This is a new year, and I have a list, of lots of things that I started last year, and some actually the year before that I would really like to get done and say, okay, I've crossed that off on my list. And really and truly, I should not be starting any more new projects until I get several of these completed. So, and y'all can hold me to that. Put it in the comments, hold me to that. Say, Karen, you weren't supposed to start any new projects, and look what you did. You put something else on your needles. What were you thinking? Yeah. Anyway, all right. So I need to get ready for church. It's Wednesday night. I'm going to get ready for church. And y'all have a great week. Have a great weekend. And I will see you in the next video.